Hello and welcome to the Inside Stylist podcast, where we talk all about interiors with interviews with interior stylists, writers and the fabulous homeware brands that make a house a home. I also catch up with industry experts in the know and get them to share all their knowledge and advice. There's so much to talk about. I'm your host, Emma Morton-Turner, an interior stylist and writer with a ton of experience. I set up InsideStylist.com so I can share all that interiors love with you. So don't forget to head on over to the website for not only the show notes from today's episode, but regular interior blog posts and a whole host of inspiration on the interior stylists and writers' profiles. But for now, enjoy the show. I met today's guest at a freelancer's Christmas party a few years ago. She had felt flowers in her hair and sequins all over her jumper. I knew we were going to hit it off. We were introduced just by first name by Sally Cullen and we started chatting. I soon realised that I was in the company of a crafting guru who I had featured a number of times on Ashika, and it took all my strength not to go all fangirl on her. I had 3 of her crafting books at home, which are beautifully shot and the crafts are impeccable. She can turn her hand to absolutely any craft and has so many projects on her Insta feed you could literally do one a day forever. I also counted 9 of her books on Amazon this morning. Today I am very happy to introduce to you stylist, writer, designer and crafter extraordinaire, Christine Leach.
Christine Leach. So I get my surname there.
Yes.
It's not just Christine.
Not just Christine. Christine Leach.
Madonna.
If you had been introduced to me as Christine Leach, I would have gone, is that me, Christine Leach?
Oh.
Yeah, I think I'd literally just featured your book and we were chatting for ages and then it was suddenly like, I think you're her.
I'm like that all the time, especially with Instagram, because you have that kind of general chat with somebody and then halfway through you're like, oh, you're so yeah.
So I'm going to just come completely clean and say thank you for recording this podcast for a second time.
Yes, we are.
Because the first time it just cut off and stopped after about 30 seconds. And we had a really good chat. So I hope we don't forget to include any of the juiciness that we did the first time around. So thank you for your patience.
That's fine.
So what came first, styling or crafting?
Well, crafting, then styling, but before that it was design and before that was illustration, because I studied illustration at college and quickly realised that you couldn't really make a full-time job from that. So then I kind of went into designing for magazines.
Did you learn to design? Like, did you learn design at college and then
No.
Did you have to go and learn like Photoshop?
No, I was going out with a designer who got a first. So I had a very good teacher.
Very handy.
Got a good tutor. So he kind of taught me bits and pieces. And yeah, so I was doing a lot of illustration for quite a lot of the kind of teen magazines like Just 17 and Sugar and Bliss. And then one of them gave me a job, which I had for this magazine called Jump as like junior designer. But they closed that magazine after like 6 weeks of me being there, which was just a bit bonkers. So I then went freelance because I'd had just enough work to kind of show people that I could do design magazine layouts. And then I just kind of worked my way through, kind of did Bliss, which is another teenage title, and then I went on to New Woman, and then that folded.
It's a common theme.
Everywhere folds.
It's a common theme in this podcast.
Yes.
But look, here we are, still going.
Well, exactly. And it's good for. I think it was good for me because every time one of the magazines that I worked on closed, my redundancy got better. It kind of gave me the kick I needed to branch out and do different stuff.
Yeah.
So they've all been a blessing in disguise. So if anyone's out there, they're going to get made redundant. I honestly think it's probably will be the best thing that could happen to
I don't think
you.
I know anyone who was made redundant who didn't end up in a better place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Myself included.
Yeah. So after New Woman folded, I was freelancing and I was working at a company called Seven, which is like a contract publishers, and they had just won the contract for a magazine for Hobbycraft, which was obviously my sort of dream job because I've loved crafting since I was small.
Did people in the industry know that you were into craft and stuff?
No. I kept hearing these rumours that this magazine was being designed somewhere on our floor, and I kept like trying to find it, and I could see, I just remember when they were doing the pitch for it, I could sort of see what they were doing, and I was like, that's not right. It's not right. It's not right, guys. It's not right, because it was very Crafts Council, so it was quite high end.
Yeah,
And
not
I
the
was like,
Hobbycraft shopper.
I was like, you need some acrylic pom-poms in there. And so we had to repitch, and I was like, shall we work on it together? So then I luckily got involved with that, and we did like 3 issues, I think, 4 issues. And it was really nice because it was sort of at the, like, craft wasn't like it is now.
No.
So it was quite hard to find like stylists and people that had that like bow string to their bow.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find crafty stylists, and there weren't that many out there.
It's kind of more now. It's like an everyday thing. I could probably name. I was going to say 10, but I don't know if I could name 10. Maybe I just don't know 10, but I could name 5 interior stylists who do craft on the side, sort of thing. But, yeah, but I remember back then it wasn't as well known.
No. So then I was like, well, I could make this. We could do this. So I got to get my crafting chops back out and start doing things again. So that was really nice. And it was on one of the shoots that I was doing for the magazine that I met Hannah, who I wrote my first 2 books with.
Yeah.
So that was a very fortuitous meeting.
Yes, it's always you're in the right place at the right time, I think, for that reason. I have to tell you, I actually did something for that one. It was either the first or the second issue of the Hobbycraft magazine, and it was myself and Jen Morgan, and I think it was Ben Kendrick, or I think it was definitely a guy, or it might have been Neil McClellan.
Right.
And we all had to design, or like upcycle and design a cushion.
Oh, okay.
And then we were sat holding the cushion, and a picture was taken of us, and we were in that first magazine. And it's really funny because when you were talking about it earlier, I was just thinking, oh my God, that's just a real jog from my past.
Yeah.
I think I was literally on Homes and Ideas, and I was that closed not long after that.
Yeah.
So
well, there you go.
it's quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you've done 9 books in total, but Meeting Hannah was kind of the start of it.
Yes.
So what was the first book you did?
First book we put together was Everything Alice, a Wonderland book of makes and bakes, which is based on one of our favourite childhood books was Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, because it's just got so much visual stimulation in there. Just the way it's written, it's so descriptive, and there was always so many ideas that we could have done for the book. And it's just funny, I'd commissioned her she had some crafty stuff in her portfolio, so I'd commissioned her to work on a project with me for Hobbycraft, and I was going to my friend's party. I was going to my friend's birthday party that evening, and I'd made, it's quite a long time ago, there was kind of a thing for kind of like Union Jack cushions, but made out of like different strips of fabric. Yeah. So I'd made one of them for my friend's birthday, but I hadn't finished it as a gift. Yeah. But I hadn't finished it, so
you're sitting in your lunchtime finishing it.
I was on this shoot making it, and Hannah was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm making this." She goes, "Oh," and then we just got talking about how I wasn't just an art director; I was like a crafter and a maker as well. And she had this idea for the book, and we were just a really good team because she had sort of crafting and the styling experience, and I had the like page layout, magazine design experience, and because I had worked for a little bit at a book publisher's in Bath, so I sort of knew what you needed to do to put a book together. So we kind of made up a little 16-page blad, they're called, of like 4 craft projects, and we got our friend Tiffany to shoot it, and then we kind of sent that out to lots of publishers, and kind of got a few people interested, and then we were commissioned by Quadrille Publishing, which is part of Hardy Grant now. Yeah. And it was lovely. That was the start of a really lovely rolling little career of books. So we did Everything Alice, and then we did Everything Oz, based on The Wizard of Oz. And then she went on to do her own books, and then I went on to do like a little series of books called Simple Makes, which I think you might have a few.
That is the little collection that I had. There's 4 in that collection, isn't there? But I had 3. I had the felting one, the sewing one, and the paper craft one.
So there was a printing one as well, and then someone else did a knitting one, and someone else did a crochet one, because I don't do the knitting or the crochet.
Yeah, I don't knit or crochet.
No.
But I've just been to your bathroom and seen a crochet mat on the floor, and I'm thinking you actually crochet a whole lot better than I do. There's no holes in it.
No. I can crochet, double crochet. That's the only thing I can do.
I don't even think I can.
No.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Wouldn't know where to start.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to, actually. I think it's this is a workshop I should do, I think.
Yeah. Or you do the arm knitting workshop.
Yeah, I'd quite like to do that as well. Have a giant thing on my sofa or something.
Yeah.
Get snuggly.
Yeah.
So you've done lots of different things. You've done books, you've done magazines, you've done some TV. What's your favourite thing to work on?
Well, in a craft point of sense, or I don't know.
Do you like having, because you've got such a lot of strong talents, you can do all the crafting, you can do all the layouts, we were just talking about logos and things, you can kind of see the whole thing, so it's almost like it's a big project. You like to do it from the start to the end. You can almost do the whole
What, am I a control freak?
No, you're hugely talented. You can turn your hand to anything. You do pom-poms, which you did a pom-pom book not so long ago. You can sew, there's wall hangings, paper crafts. You made a dress for a wedding recently. You can really turn your hand to anything. So what do you enjoy doing the most?
I worry that I'm over pom-poms. I'm not over pom-poms, but it was a very intense time doing my pom-pom book. Because I just was engrossed in it for like 9 months of literally everything I looked at. I was like, how would you make that into a
they're not.
pom-pom?
If people are thinking pom-poms, it's not just like a ball of wool. It is like on your Instagram feed that I saw this morning. It's like there's a pear and it's perfectly pear-shaped and perfectly like a green pear with little bits of red coming through, sitting between two actual pears, and they're the same height. And I was thinking, how do you work out the shape of the, if you're making it traditionally with a card, where do you put a hole in the bottom, and when you tie the string to the, it's almost like if you can sew, you know how patterns laid out to put together for a dress. It's how you make the shapes work to make a pom-pom. And also the licorice pom-pom.
Oh yes,
love
licorice
the
all
licorice
sorts.
Square.
Yeah.
Square pom-pom.
Square pom-poms. I know, because I sort of, we came up with the idea in collaboration with my publisher, with my editor for this book, and she was like, oh, can you do a book on pom-poms? And I was like, well, yeah, but what, 1 colour pom-poms, 2 colour pom-poms, that's it. But then sort of did a little bit of research, and there was, again, it was kind of when craft was kind of just taking off, but Japan is so far advanced in like their crafty things that they do, and there was just this one couple of little projects online that I was just like, well, that is a pom-pom that looks like a lion, that is a pom-pom that looks like a flower. I do not know how they do that. It is written in Japanese. I will have to work this out myself.
There's Google Translate and there's Google Translate, isn't it?
And then also pom-pom makers have been revolutionised since bits of cardboard, and they're basically divided up into halves and hinged and clipped.
Yeah, it's like a little plastic thing for anyone who doesn't know. It's 2 pieces that sit on top of each other that are like donuts, but they open up. Yeah. So you can
work on one half at a time. And once you've worked out the symmetry of a pom-pom, and one half of your maker is your front and one half is your back, then you sort of realise that when the bit of wool that you wind right at the beginning will be the middle of your pom-pom, and then you work out. And as soon as I cracked that, I was like, oh, you can totally make anything into a pom-pom. And then it's all in the trimming as well, with your giant scissors.
Giant scissors? Oh, giant scissors. Small embroidery that are really sharp.
Always make your pom-pom, like, so, I'm going to get technical now. So your pom-pom makers come in 4 sizes. If you want your pom-pom to be kind of like a certain size, you would always make it on the pom-pom maker the size up,
so you can trim it
down. So you trim it down, and I always do a big old shear with a big pair of scissors, and then I do more intricate things, which I did when I was so I was doing pom-poms when I was on Kirsty's Handmade Christmas like a couple of years ago, and I think I scared Kirsty with the size
with your
of
big
my
scissors.
She said, oh my goodness, it's like shearing a sheep. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get rid of at least an inch of this.
Don't stand too close.
Yeah. So yeah, pom-poms I love doing, but I'm feeling quite a lot of love for embroidery at the moment as well.
Yeah, you were saying you can do it when you're doing other things, can't you? Like you can watch TV, and you can sit in the garden, and all that sort of thing.
And that kind of, you were mentioning the kind of visible mending.
Visible mending's a really big. That's a Japanese thing as well, isn't it? It's that wabi sabi, that whole loving the imperfection of things that you've loved in the past and you've got holes in, and it's the way people stitch, like it's embroidered silk, embroidery silks kind of stitched in rows, and then you go like vertically, then horizontally, and then they'll add little trinkets or a sequin here, and it's like you can see there's a big hole, but they've made it into something. I'm quite fascinated by it.
I know I've got this vintage car coat that moth has been to visit, shall we say, because it doesn't seem to have stayed around for very long, but I've got lots of little holes in this coat, but I'm quite happy about it because I'm like, I can just embroider these all with silver stars now. Yeah. And I think it will look really precious.
Yeah. It becomes
when I get around to doing
thing. Yeah. You need to sit and watch TV.
When it's on the list of things to do.
Yeah, the things that aren't work always seem to get pushed to the back of the list, don't they? I keep hanging up clothes that need a little bit of work doing to them, like hems coming down and things. And I'm like, I'm going to do that in the Easter holidays when the kids are off. Never going to happen. A pair of trousers have been out there for quite a long time. I think the last time I saw you was, or one of the last times I saw you was at the handmade fair.
Oh yeah.
And you were doing a stand, were you helping the stand with Swarovski? And I hadn't discovered that they do crafting beads, or beads that you can buy to sew on and make things with, and that was like, there was just like little pockets of them, and you were doing little workshops on the stand. You were also doing a workshop in the big workshop marquee for like 100 people. That must be quite nerve-wracking.
It is, but I love it. I love teaching people. I love talking. I like talking.
Me too.
I like talking to a lot of people. Not very good at one-to-one, but I like talking to a lot of people. And yeah, it's just really lovely when you can see people enjoying themselves, and maybe they're a bit reticent to begin with. I know when I've done pom-pom workshops, the kind of drop-in pom-pom workshops, and there's been, say, like a group of 3 girls, and 2 will be really into it, and then there'll just be one saying, no, it's fine, I can't do it, I don't want to do it. And they're like, well, if you're going to sit there and watching your friends make it, then why don't you have a go? And then at the end you can just see them all.
Yeah, like, they're the biggest convert.
We need to make more, we need to make more. Very addictive pom-pom making. And that's the same like at the handmade fair. It's like you've got 100 people, you have to kind of be quite careful about what you're teaching in the time frame. So you've got an hour. I always figure if I can make it in half an hour, then people can probably make it in an hour. And then I get friends over before I do a big workshop and test it out on them. My mum is a prime. She's like one of the worst secret shoppers ever. She'll be like, oh, I haven't got a needle, oh, I haven't got any scissors, oh, I can't thread this, oh, what did she just say, oh, and she just sort of puts on this persona of like, this is what
this is your worst
challenging
nightmare. Yeah, you can cope with your mum on a pre-test run.
Yes,
you can cope with anything.
Yeah, but it's just nice, everyone just helps each other, and it's, if you just give them the tools and the power, so there's usually like a printed sheet down as well, so they can read the instructions, and then if they keep asking the same question, I'm like, it is written down.
The thing
refer to that.
The handmade fair is a very friendly environment.
Yes,
and it's
definitely.
The workshops are nearly always something you've probably never done before, or you're using something you might not have done a pom-pom. You might be more of a knitter, and you never pom-pom or sewing or something. So it's always going to discover something new, and I think that's why you go there, because quite a lot often craft fairs feel very much like a shopping trip. Yeah. Whereas this is, the shopping that you will do is for crafts you've not seen anywhere else before, or it's a different colour or a different texture, and the fabrics are always really good prices and stuff. But the workshops are brilliant, because all this, like the Swarovski stand had space for you to do workshops there, and there was Annie Sloan and there was Liz Earle, all different people sharing stuff on all their stands. So it's not just you go and you buy, it's like
and you really discover so much as well, and it's sort of seeing things in use. And like you say, like Swarovski, the crystals that they have are just amazing. Like when they approached me to work with them, I was like, oh, I don't really know, because all I think about when I think of Swarovski is the kind of like crystal
sparkly jewellery
and like the diamantes that are all over your Strictly Come Dancing costume.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, but it's not you, is it? Your
dancing costume. But it's not like so much me. I don't necessarily adorn all my stuff in sparkly things. But then when they were showing me their crystals, they were like, no, look, we've got neon pearls.
Yeah.
We've got like hexagonal rose gold. So on beads.
Yeah, and had eyes.
Yeah,
and like
amazing
spikes
eyes.
you were showing me.
Spikes.
And all the things for making rings and jewellery and stuff. And I'd never really thought of them like that. And then you were showing me the catalogue. And it's like a catalogue of crafting beads by Swarovski. And it's like, ooh.
They've got an amazing app that just is incredible. But it just sparkles so much as well. You can't beat it.
No, and it is that whole, well, now what can I do next?
Yeah.
What can I make next?
It is a little bit expensive.
Yeah.
But you do...
That's the luxury of it.
That's the luxury of it. And then if you're wearing it and then you get caught in the sunshine, you literally blind everybody who's around you. And they're like, whoa, what's that? What's that? Well, I've got a rainbow in my face. And you're like, oh, sorry, that's me. But it's great fun, the Handmade Fair. Handmade Fair. Well, they're changing it to the Handmade Festival this year.
Are they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in September. I've got another workshop there. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
well, we have to
another
share
100 people.
So this is going to come out sometime in May. So people can be aware that you need to start thinking about your tickets
now.
Yeah,
definitely.
Something else I saw you do at the end of last year, you were making wreaths in Bath.
Yeah,
they were brilliant. Do you want to talk about
that was a lovely project.
That was a big project.
It was a big project. So I was making the Christmas decorations for the Bath Christmas market, and they're up for like 3 weeks in November, but we started talking about it in like February that year.
Talking about Christmas in February.
Yeah, talking about Christmas in February. I mean, we do Christmas in July, but Christmas in February was a new one for me. And my friend just approached me because she her partner runs the Christmas market with the council, and she was like, what would you do if you had to make decorations to decorate a Christmas market? And I was like, and my fallback is always pom-poms because they're enjoyable, everyone likes them, people can make them quite simply. But then I was thinking, quite hard to make them that big, and like a pom-pom garland would be amazing, but it would take an awful lot to cover a street. And also there'd be wool and they'd get wet and soggy and heavy. So then I was thinking what else you would use, and I was thinking, well, you would probably, want to use plastic, but then obviously using plastic isn't great for the environment. So basically I kind of worked out that we could use recycled plastic, so we could use plastic bags, we could involve the community in collecting plastic bags and plastic bottles, and we could make pom-poms and wreaths, and made these really amazing plastic bottle flowers, which is really beautiful in these little plastic bottle, like the bottom of a plastic bottle's got the kind of
the bumps,
and if you cut that off, it looks like a lovely little flower. It looks like a snowflake. So I've worked with school kids to make like these little snowflakes that we turned into garlands, which
it's lovely that the local community were involved in their street sort of thing. You just imagine the kids going, let's go and find my snowflake.
I know, they really were, and it was because we got them all to write their initials on.
Oh, lovely.
And because I was like, it's fine, of course we can make this, and then you don't really realise how, because I like, if I'm set a task or a project, I do find it quite hard to ask for help. And also, because I just live on my own, I'm like, I can just keep making this till 3 a.m. It's not a problem. I've got nobody else's on my time. And then when you're sort of, there wasn't enough time in the world
There's
for me
never
to make.
There's never enough time, is there?
To make a 3-metre wide chandelier. So it was amazing to have the help that I got when I was down in Bath, because I just used my Instagram community and kind of put a shout out saying, anyone want to come and help make some Christmas decorations? So we had like 10 days in the end of October, and I had just like this really lovely little stream of people every day coming into the studio saying, we're here to make something, and I'd show them how to make. And that's what's so nice about teaching and community and crafty people is they're all so friendly, and they're also quick at learning, and they're also generous with their time. So I would teach someone in the morning, and then I wouldn't necessarily have to teach anybody else, but 3 or 4 different people had come in through the day, and they'd just sit down, and then the people that I taught in the morning would just teach the next people and teach the next people. So it's a bit like Chinese whispers. Yeah. So the thing that you end up with at the end isn't necessarily what you started off with. Shapes,
but, you know, you still had like...
Exactly. We needed like 800, 900 for this chandelier of these plastic flowers. So I kind of needed all the help I could get.
Yeah.
But it was great. I met some really good people.
And then they were put up all down the street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from this small wreath that I'd made in February to then being asked if you could supersize it to cover like the main street and in front of the Abbey in Bath, realising that was a bit of a challenge, but just all things that I've never done before. Like I had to make the structure of the chandelier.
3 metres. It's like, how do you do that without it flopping,
you find a steel fabricator.
Oh, of course you do.
And then the steel fabricator's like, do you want it powder coated? You can have it powder coated in one of like 400 colours. I was like, yes, I do.
If it's on offer, yes.
If it's peppermint, definitely.
It's one of those things where someone says, can you do this? And you just go, yeah. I'll now go away and work it out.
And then you're like, hang on, I have to ask 6 other people. And then they can. And then it's just amazing. And powder coating, who knew that was a thing?
Yeah, that's a bit like when you discover that you can send your doors off to be stripped.
Yeah.
You don't have to stand and get the nitromoors out or anything. It's like, what else can I strip? You just want to put it
powder coated this steel chain, like in this peppermint green, and you're like, right, what else? What else? It's like when you first get your first can of spray paint, and like literally everything is suddenly like, oh, it's fluorescent pink. Oh, I've got fluorescent pink taps. I've got fluorescent pink lantern. I've got a fluorescent pink floor.
I had to spray paint something once for a shoot, and it was raining, and then it got to the day before, and I was like, well, I've got to spray paint it. So I took it into my garage. I covered everything I possibly could, but neon spray paint it's very powdery, and I just left a powdered dust coat on everything, including our red lawnmower, and my husband wasn't very happy. It's still red with splatters of neon pink.
I don't know, that sounds quite good to me. The
trolley looked brilliant. Something else that you've been doing more recently, or another job you did, was you did I don't know if you call it an installation in Heels windows.
Oh yes, that was really nice. That
wasn't that long ago, was it?
It wasn't. It was March. It was, so it's working with this tape called Haru tape.
Yeah.
So I don't know if everyone knows, because I didn't know. It's like washi tape, so sticky, but comes off everything. Sticks on everything, comes off everything. But this tape, you can get it in like 5 centimetre, 10 centimetre, right up to like 30 centimetre wide. So it's really good for like upcycling furniture, or if you're living in rented accommodation, because you can just do an incredible mural on the wall and then peel it off. And when you're asked to do when you're asked to do a window in Heels.
Oh yes, darling, of course I do.
When you're asked to do like a massive project, you're like, oh yes, this could make or break me. I'm going to do like the most incredible thing. And the original idea that I came up with was, I was like making all these paper flowers and creating this massive canopy over this 4-poster bed and all these things, and I kind of sent it over to Heels, and they're like, oh yes, this is amazing, it's not normally what we would do, but let's just go for it. And then it's not till afterwards you're like, why did I do that? That's a lot of work. And it was kind of sandwiched between 2 days of filming of this TV show that I was doing, and I was like, I don't have time to do that. I do not have time to do that. And then luckily they got back to me and were like, that idea you did, we can't do that. So can you think of something else? And then, when you have your good ideas and your simple ideas and your simple but effective ideas, because you have spent all the time doing the initial proposal. Yeah. Like, I'm not getting paid anymore for this. I'll just do something really stupid. It's really simple. And then, so I just came up with this idea for like kind of ticker tape confetti. So this Haru tape came 5 centimetre wide, rolls, and I just laid it all out flat on a cutting mat, cut like 2 centimetre strips off all of them, and then just kind of stuck it everywhere so it looks like falling confetti or falling rain.
Yeah, it was so clever.
Yeah, so we did, what did we do? We did a wall, we did the window, we did a wall, we did like a chest of drawers, and then my favourite one was, you know, those massive angle poises.
Yeah.
We did it so I had the angle poise at the front, and then when you walked past it, there was a big triangle of kind of light and confetti painted on the wall at the back. So if you stood in the right place, it looked like the light had lit up this chair.
Yeah.
Because we had it in a big pool on the floor as well.
It was really clever.
Thank you. That made me very happy. I really enjoyed doing that.
I really enjoyed watching the installation of that on your Instagram. It's kind of, I love that whole behind the scenes thing, and then you walk past so that you can go and see it in the flesh sort of thing.
Yeah, well, that's really nice to. It's really nice to be involved in projects like that, and the whole kind of Instagram social sharing thing.
Yeah,
I really enjoy.
Yeah, the social aspect of that social media.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I think because again, sometimes everyone has it. When you work from home, you might not speak to anyone all day, so I'm quite up for a chat on my Instagram.
Yeah,
even when I'm doing stupid things like tidying the house. I tidy the house a lot. It gets very messy. I have a lot of people writing into me going, I love watching you tidy the house.
Yeah, I love watching you tidy the house.
It makes us feel not so bad. It makes us feel that our house isn't quite so messy.
It's that, what they call it, Instasham, when it's like, this is the reality of what's going on behind the camera.
Yeah.
I like watching you in your work. Do you call it your workshop down the end? The
studio.
Your studio. Hello. Your studio. And it's like, well, half of me is like, oh, that's my dream space. And then it's like behind the curtain, you've got like your little nook bit, which I've now seen, which is very exciting. My lips are sealed. But yeah, just to have that space, and I love that. It's that whole, I can completely relate to having done something, made a mess, and going, I'll come back to that in a minute. But I'm just going to make this first. And it's like, oh, I never want to go and do the tidying up. It always gets pushed.
I hear of these wonderful stylists who make sure they've unpacked before as soon as they come home, they unpack, everything's put away, it's all very tidy, and you're amazing.
Sometimes
anyone who works like that's amazing, but
it just depends how tired you are. If I've been to the flower market and I'm too tired, I quite like to there's been a number of times where I haven't unloaded the car and forgotten that I've got to get the kids in, and I take the seats out of my car to put props in. So it's like, I can't fit the kids in now. So so I do try, but quite often I'll empty the props into the hall and then leave them till the next day or Saturday but it's because I don't want to look at them. Once you finish the job, I'm done. I want it done and dusted and start the next day fresh. But it's the same with the craft projects, isn't it? You don't want to come back to the rubbish that you've made. No. You want to move on to the next thing.
And that's the thing, I will tidy. It will get deeper and deeper and deeper into detritus. And then I'll have a massive tidy. But literally the second it's tidy, I'm like, look at that clear table. Let's make something. And then it all just starts again.
My desk isn't even tidy. I'm obviously just a messy person.
Creative mess is better than idle tidiness.
Exactly.
Like to say.
So I actually, when I was looking at your Instagram feed, I actually saw a little snippet of TV which you mentioned.
Yes.
So what's
my
that
bit
then?
Of filming we've
There's
been
big
doing.
Smiley faces over the craft that you've done, so you can't share that. So I understand you probably can't share too much.
No, well, it's hopefully we're thinking it's going to be coming out at the end of summer. It's like new Kirsty Allsop craft show.
Cool.
It involves celebrities and craft, and it was a lot of fun.
Was it celebrities who don't normally do craft?
Yes.
So it was completely coming to it with no skills.
So I was sort of teaching them, and it was like very intense, like 7 hours of crafting.
But with people watching, it's like quite intense.
Yeah.
Because it's not like normally you're crafting, you're pretty much at home on your own.
Yeah, well, I'm sort of teaching. You have to teach the person that I was with. So I was like, this is what we're making and this is how we do it. And sort of teaching them. And you know how they like to kind of brand people on shows. Like
that person is
the
baddie,
the baddie,
big ditzy girl or something.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm going to be the control freak, hovering hands. just couldn't leave some of the crafts alone. They were just like, are you sure you want to do it like that? Is that what you think is the best way of doing that? And they'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, okay, fine.
I can imagine
trying
how
to sit on my
frustrating it is.
hands. But they all did a really good job. So I think, I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see
Quite
that.
funny.
I will, obviously, when this goes live, it won't be out yet, but I will, you keep me posted and I'll share when that goes live so we can let people know to look out for it. There's something else that you're working on as well that is in the pipeline. Do you want to share about?
Yes.
Well, actually, we've mentioned your Instagram, but we haven't really gone into any details. So your Instagram feed is as in SEWYEAH, and you share a lot of your projects. Obviously, you've shared like the installation for the bath one and the heels, but you share your projects, what you're making, your crafting, and you've built up this fantastic community.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to everything I do, I'm trying to feed it all into the same place, and I've got this personality, but then I do my styling and I guess I'll keep my magazine work separate.
Yeah, we didn't really mention that you're the creative director for Marie Claire as well. So it's like
that's a thing.
You've got lots of
do.
hats, just in your spare time, just a small magazine.
Yeah.
So you've got lots going on.
I've got lots going on all at once, but it's all been a bit disparate, so I'm trying to pull it all together and work out the things that I enjoy doing it and trying to make that more of a regular occurrence for myself, so I know what my months involve, and then also for everybody else. So I'm going to start the So Yeah Social Club.
Yeah,
because
fabulous.
It's a brilliant name.
It is a brilliant name. I love it.
And I want it to be a kind of like online and in real life community for crafters and like-minded people, so that we can all get together and chat and share the projects that we're working on. And I'm going to build some sort of structure, so I'm going to have like a monthly workshop and monthly meetups, and then like a monthly newsletter that I'll be sending out, like news and views and reviews and exclusive craft projects that people can make, and then lovely discounts from like some of the people that I work with. So I think it will be really nice.
Yeah,
I had something else to say.
You've got like a really nice close-knit community, haven't you?
Yes.
Like
that was it.
Supportive.
Yeah, because I love.
Oh yeah, you were saying about people just meeting up for coffee.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't have to be doing something, and then it might even be people who are in the group in Scotland might decide to meet up. Yeah,
all the Scottish social clubs can have their own like little meetings and stuff. But I started it because I just remember when I was a kid, I used to love having clubs. Like I had a detective club, member of one. But I had like a whole book that I'd like created, and like a little membership badge and a membership card and rules and things. So I just want that to have a little membership pack that I can send out to people, and then this monthly newsletter and meetups and stuff. So that's the plan.
Very exciting.
Coming soon.
Well, I've
told you all. You are all my accountability partners for this project, because I can't design the logo, so I'm sort of struggling at the first hurdle, really. But there's too many talents going on here. You can't be doing one thing while you've got to do the logo.
Exactly. I think sometimes you have this idea to do something, but the thinking and the planning behind it takes a lot longer than you almost have to get it all written down and make it work in the right order, because you have all these great ideas. You just need to put it all in together.
I'm a very cyclical thinker. I was thinking for the newsletter that I would interview people, so I would interview you and we would talk about stuff, and then I was like, well, if I'm doing an interview, it might as well be a podcast. And then, oh my God, how do you do a podcast? And then you go from like a tiny seed to something that's so mind-blowing that you just run away and don't do any of it. So I did it in reverse. So I did the podcast, and I've obviously got the website going, and now I do interviews called Spotlight On, which is finding new brands that I want to share with people. Yes. And it's like I've gone from the hardest to the much easier. Yeah. But actually it works. It's like you're kind of ticking two boxes. You're reaching two different audiences and stuff. True. If you do want to do podcasts, I will show you how to do it, and not how we did it the first time. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be learning from the best, obviously. The best who didn't actually manage to record it the first time at all, but I don't think that was your fault.
I'm watching it recording now, so we're good. We know we're good. Well, when that goes live, I will share that with everyone so they can keep posted about it. It's very exciting. Thank you very much for doing this recording twice. Massively appreciate it. Second time.
I don't think we missed anything out.
No, I can't think of anything. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for listening to the Inside Stylist podcast. You'll find all the details from today's show over on the show notes at insidestylist.com. If you enjoy the show, I'd love it if you would head on over to iTunes and rate and review it. It's the best way to help other people find the show, and I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, bye for now.